Yesterday we learned Vayikach v'yachzor mibayla Am Rabbi Yehuda bar Zvina she'asalo ma'aseh likuchin. When Amram made a marriage for Yocheved, he made her a big, nice wedding. He made the whole 9 yards. Even though he was bringing her back, we're holding in the middle of page 12a. He made a big deal, yeah. And then what Pasuk says, Hoshiva Afiryon. He made the chuppah. Aaron and Miriam berakdim lefanea. Aaron and Miriam were dancing in front of Yocheved. Umalachei Asharet Amru, but the angels said, Em abanim semecha. Mother of the children is happy. Mother Yocheved in front of children, Aaron and Miriam happy. M is M Aleph Mem. Aleph Mem stands for Aaron, Miriam. Okay, Aaron, Miriam is happy. Let's go. Second question. Why Yocheved was the most happy? The answer is because this is the last marriage that man is allowed to marry his aunt. From here on, no more. Man is not allowed to marry his aunt. So therefore, Yocheved was extremely, extremely, extremely happy. Yocheved was happy because this is the last marriage that she can marry, that in the history will be, man is allowed to marry his aunt. So from now on, man is not allowed to marry his aunt. So therefore, because Torah will be given and it's not allowed. Who's this Mr. iPhone? I want to say Shalom Aleichem. Rav Aaron or Rav Moshe? Which one? Okay. Weiter. Et bat Levi. So it says Moshe Rabbeinu's father Amram married Bat Levi, daughter of Levi. That's not nice. She's 130 years old. Why would you call her Bat Levi? Efshar Bat Meo 30 Shana Havi Avkar Elea Bat. Is it possible that lady's 130 years old, you call her Bat daughter? Dam Rabbi Chama Rabbi Chanina. Rabbi Chama Rabbi Chanina said, Zo Yocheved. This is Yocheved. Rav Aaron Shalom Aleichem. Nice thing. Thank you. And also Rav Asher. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome. Wow, we have 16 people. 4 more people make it 20. Let's go, brothers. Okay. The Amr Rabbi Chama Rabbi Chanina. By the way, tonight Shi'ur, we want to see you all. Tonight Shi'ur face to face. We want to see you all. Bezat the Amr Rabbi Chama Rabbi Chanina. Zo Yocheved. This is Yocheved Shorata B'derech V'dedeta Ben Chachomot. She got pregnant on the way when they were going to Egypt, and she gave birth between the walls. Okay, so the question is, how can she be with her husband when the whole world is suffering from hunger? We know the halakha. We know the halakha says whenever there is a suffering in the world, you're not allowed to be with your wife. So why here Yocheved was allowed to be with Amram if there's a suffering in the world, people dying from hunger? The answer is, Mefarshim give answer like this. They say, when you are not allowed to be with your spouse during the hunger years or during suffering, during the war, when you know the ending. Let's say hunger, let's say, is from here till next year, till next month. Okay, 1 month suffering, no big deal. We're not allowed to be together. Fine. But when a person doesn't know the end of it, they are allowed to be together. Are you going to tell me what Yosef HaTzadik said to Paro? 7 years will be plenty and 7 years will be hunger. You're right. It's only Joseph knew and Paro knew. They're not living in Egypt. They live in Israel. They live in Eretz Israel. They're going from Eretz Canaan. So if they didn't know, they're not allowed to be together. Sheneimar asher ota leLevi b'Mitzrayim. And so Gemara proves that Yocheved was mother of Yocheved was pregnant to her on the way, and she gave birth to Egypt. It says that mother gave birth to her in Mitzrayim, but mother did not get pregnant for her in Mitzrayim. She got pregnant on the way, and she gave birth in Mitzrayim. Amar Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda said, "Shenoldu ba simane na'arot." Why it says Bat Levi? Why Torah calls her Bat Levi? She's 130 years old. The answer is because her young body came back. You know, she's 130 years old. She's never gonna have period again. She cannot have children again. She's old. She's all wrinkled. Gemara says, but here her young body came back. She started having her monthly friends. She started having a young body. She was able to get pregnant. She was able to give birth, and so on. But Tara Isha tell it then. Now Yocheved got pregnant. She gave birth to a boy. Vaha havet mi of Rabet loto yarcheme ikara. Really, what Egyptians saw in her that she's pregnant now, they thought she got pregnant today. But really, she was already 3 months pregnant. So therefore, she was able to hide the baby for 3 months. She was able to hide the baby for 3 months. They couldn't catch her on that. Amar Rabbi Yehuda bar Zvina. Rabbi Yehuda bar Zvina says, Makish lidota lehorata. Torah compares her giving birth to her getting pregnant. Ma horata shelo betzar. How she got pregnant without pain. Afledata shelo betzar. Also, she gave birth without pain. Mikan lenashim tzadkaniyot shelo hayu bepitka shel Chava. So from here we see that women who were tzadkaniyot, they were not in the pain, in the punishment of Chava. So this Quran is scary for anybody. What are you saying? What are you saying? If woman is holy lady, she's not gonna have pain during the delivery, labor. What are you talking about? What about Rivka? Rivka had pregnancy pain. Sha'arei had pregnancy pain. What do you say? How are you gonna explain this? So Mufashim explained that way. They say when Hashem makes miracle, Hashem makes one miracle, but not two. So what's the one miracle? Sha'arei imenu, Rivka imenu, Rachel imenu, Leah imenu. Really, automatically, they should not have a baby at all. Not Sarah and Rachel, sorry. Rivka and Sarah. They were barren. Hashem said, I'll make you a miracle to get pregnant, but I'm not going to make you a second miracle to give birth easily or to have easy pregnancy. So therefore Hashem made one miracle, not two. Okay? But by Yocheved, Hashem made a miracle only during the labor and delivery. And after Yocheved gave birth, she saw Moshe Rabbeinu was beautiful, good. For example, he was good. Okay. Tanya, we've learned the bread. Rabbi Meir says.
He was complete, right, Rabbi?
Yes. We'll see right now. Tov, who? Tov Shmo. His name is Tov, Tuvia, Tov. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Tuvia Shmo. Rabbi Yehuda says his name is Tuvia. So one said Tov, one said Tuvia. Rav Nachemia Omer, Hagun leNeviut. He was ready. He was worthy for the prophecy. Achenim Omrim, Nolat Kshu Ma'ul. He was born with Brit Milah. Stop. Here Mepharshim say, the Brisker says, we see from here, when child is born, it's good. Therefore, during the Brit, you say, Hodula Adonai Kito, Kilo Chazdo, and not during other. Chopa, you don't say. By Chupa, you don't say, Hodula Hashem Kito, Kilo Chazdo. Why Brit you say? Hodula Hashem Kito, because Brit is Tov. When a person is Brit, is Tov. Moshe Rabbeinu was born with the Brit, therefore Tov. חכמים אומרים, חכמים said, בשעה שנולד משה, מתמלא הבית כולו אור. When Moshe, at the time when Moshe Rabbeinu born, the whole house was filled up with light. It says over here, and they saw him, he was good. And Hashem saw the light was good. What is for now? We see from here, Tov means light. So Moshe Rabbeinu had light. That is for now, and Moshe Rabbeinu's mother was hiding Moshe for how long? 3
months.
Shelo miss you. Shelo manu. Mitzrayim ela misha'ad de ahadoro. Okay? Egyptians, they counted Moshe Rabbeinu's mother's pregnancy from the time that that they found her pregnant, but not at the time when she was originally pregnant. So means 3 months before. Behi havo mia rabet lata yachem eikora. But really, she was pregnant already 3 months before. Now she couldn't hide him anymore. Amai tispane vetizu. Let her hide him in the shelves. Hide him in the house. Why would you take him out of the house? Ela kol hecha da havu shomya mitzroye the mitzale dinuka. As soon as Egyptians would find out that lady gave birth, mimatu yunuka hatam. They would bring their own kids there. Ki echi deleshemenu umaoy bahadayu. As they would come with their babies, they would pinch the baby. Baby would yell, and since baby is screaming in front of the other baby, that baby would cry also. So therefore, the children of Egyptians already were trained for this, that they would scream loud to make sure they find Jewish baby. So we see from here what? Today someone sent me a video. Palestinians teach their children to be terrorists. You tell me something new? That was already in Mizraim. They would train their children to scream and yell so Jewish boys should be caught. Dichtiv, the pasuk says, Echezu lanu shu'alim shu'alim kitanim. They showed us the small foxes. Fox. Who's this fox? The goyish kids that are trained to be bad, evil, terrorists. Next, Vatikrach lo tevat gome. And now Yocheved did for him the basket. Yocheved did to him basket out of tar. My shna gome. Why out of tar? Rabbi Elazar says, Mikan letzadikim shemamonan chaviv alem yoter migufan. From here we see tzadikim, their money to them more dear than their body. Okay, why tar cheap? Why should you use expensive things? Use cheap one. Why is to be so cheap? Why? For what? The fish and poshtini den begazel. Because tzadikim, they cannot afford to spend crazy amounts because they cannot steal and make money. When they make money, they don't steal. Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachman said, Domer rak. Tar is something soft. שיכול לעמוד בפני דבר רך, בפני דבר קשה. Tar can withhold something hard and something soft. Now, before we learned yesterday actually we learned about Knizi. Remember, Miriam was married to Kalev ben Yefuneh. Kalev ben Yefuneh's brother, he was called Knizi. Otniel ben Knaz. Okay, Otniel ben Knaz. And here's Kalev ben Yefuneh. So the question is, if a person is adopted under Ketubah, do you write the parents that adopted her or no? What's your answers? So we're not talking about the case when she doesn't know. When she knows. If she knows she's adopted, fine, you write Bat Yaakov Avinu, okay? She became Gioret. Let's say she became Gioret. You write Bat Yaakov Avinu. You don't write parents' name because adopted. What if she doesn't know? Under the chuppah, you're going to tell her, your parents are not your parents. She's going to get nuts. She's going to get, what? All my life I called them father and mother, and now you're telling me they're not my parents? Bye. She's going to live from under the chuppah. So what should you do? Should you write her name, the father's name on the ketubah, or no? The one that adopted her. So the answer is like this. Otniel ben Knaz, his name is Knaz. But they wrote in the Torah, Haknizi. You see, Knaz, Knizi. So it says, Halacha, Minchat Chinuch, says you have to write, let's say his name is Avram, you say Avromile, or something that it should be red light for a different rabbi when you reach the ketubah. You understand? You have to write the name, but you have to write that name with some change. So it has small green light. That
Look at verified she's Jewish, right?
No, of course. She has to be Giorit for sure. Or she's adopted from a mother that they got from like a relative or somebody. Okay, she's Jewish for sure. If she's Goya, she has to go to the process of Gerut. But she's Jewish.
Может, просто король был, князь назвали. Может, просто король был, князь назвали.
But Hashem will miss you and your job. Knaz is Knaz's name. Okay, let's go further. Vatachmera b'chemar. So she used clay and tar. The Yocheved used the basket from clay and tar. Ubazafet. Clay and tar. Tana. Chemar b'bifnim v'zefed mibachutz. Clay from inside, tar from outside. If tar would be inside, it would smell bad smell. So she wanted that this tzaddik, Moshe Rabbeinu, should not smell a bad smell. And then she put her baby there. And then she put it by the reeds on the edge of the river. Rabbi Elazar says, Yamsuf, the river is called Yamsuf. Okay, it was reeds, sea of reeds. Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani Amar, no, it was not sea of reeds, it was Agam swamp. It says the old song. It says, Kene Vesov Kamlo. Kane Vasuf Kamelu. Okay, the reeds and the thin willows will wither. Okay. So what happened now? Dora of Paro, when Moshe Rabbeinu's mother put the basket, Dora of Paro went to the river to wash. But it says she didn't go into the river, it says over on the river. What does that mean? She went to wash over the river. What does that mean? Melamed comes to teach us. Rabbi Yochanan ben Yochai. Rabbi Yochanan said, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Melamed she'ada lilchotz migilule aviyah. She went to the river to wash away from herself her father's idols. You see, it doesn't say she went into, but just over. But she wanted to wash away this river also, because river they would call God.
So Robert, question. So she went to convert in the river where they were worshiping the river.
That's right.
The river.
She went over the river to wash herself away from this river.
But the river itself is an idol in the Egyptians' eyes. So how can it be? If the river is idol, she went there to convert, right? Or how does it work?
It means to say something that was already worship for idols. You cannot use it. So we already learned that.
Exactly.
She was not in the river according to this answer. She was under it. Means where the water is feet away from you finishing, she was above with different water washing herself out.
Here it says she was down in the river.
Where? Where it says that?
The teacher says that she came down to the river.
Let's learn how to read.
But we learned
Pharaoh's daughter went down to wash herself by the river. Today I'm teaching you something new. I learned today myself, first time. Simple answer is, yeah, she dipped into the river like a mikvah, right? Right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So today I'm going to tell you a new chidush that you never heard in your life. Okay? So look at this. When a person goes from the city to the river, it's always down. It's not up. Water is always down place, right? So, Vateret bat Paro, and Paro's daughter went down. Lechotz alayor. In Hebrew, al is over. It's not on. It's over. It's not. I'm saying it's not inside. It's on. She went on the river. Means over the river to wash herself with the water. So river, Avodah go away from her.
Worship.
The worship should go away from her. Yeah.
Rav, мы же учились, что rivers, mountains cannot be changed to idol worshiping status because it's Hashem's creations, and idol worshiping cannot come and say, "Okay, I'm going to worship."
So according to this answer that you're saying, even though they bow down to the river, she washed away from herself from the river.
Yeah,
even
the
she
river is
didn't
still
even
pure.
have to. Even she could be there inside, she still washed herself, saying, "I'm not believing in you, like you're nothing."
Yeah, we learned that already. We said that they cannot come and say, unless it's a tree, personal tree. Okay, we understand that. And our personal rock, we understand that. But
Yes,
rivers
that was
and
Avodah
mountains.
Zarah, if you remember. Gemara Avodah Zarah. Page was from 14 to 21 over there.
So так получается, the river is pure. There's an effect regardless.
River is pure. To take out water from there could be. River is pure to go shower, but to take water out of there, it could be a problem. Like remember, we said mountain, but if you take rock out of it, not allowed.
I'm drawing water.
Okay. So basically, she went there. Bottom line, she went there to wash away from herself all this idol worshipping. Next, and her maidservants were with her. So she had like 3 maidservants. Rabbi Yochanan said, when it says where maidservants went with her, went means going, dying. What does that mean? As Esau says, I'm going to die, but I don't need Bechorah. And she saw a basket between the reeds, inside the reeds. Given the Chazu, the Kabbalah to Moshe. She saw this basket and she had mercy to Moshe. Amru, Lagvilatenu, Minhago Shalolam. These 3 maidservants said to her, actually 2. 3 she had with her, but 2 of them said, listen, our mistress, the custom in the world is Melech Basar Adam Gozer Gezerah. Person, king, makes a decree. Im kol haolam kulo and mekayminota, even if the whole world is not going to fulfill the decree of the king, bana ovne beto mekayminota, but the children and the family members of the king, they do for sure fulfill the king's decrees. Ve'at ovedet al gezerat avicha. This maidservant said to her, but you want to go against your father's words? Ba Gabriel, come Gabriel Malach, vechavatan bekarka. Gabriel Malach came and he took those 2 ladies and buried them inside the ground. So then she turned around, out of 3, only 1 left. But this one was good, 1 maidservant. Then she extended her ama, some say her hand, some say her staff, and she took and she took the basket to herself. What?
Он их утопил или закопал?
As we learned before, Midrash says he drowned them in the water. But here,
Утопил.
Утопил. А здесь говорится, он их занес под землю. Это значит, закопал.
Если сначала он их побил их, а потом они умерли. On the ground. Beat them to the ground.
Give me a second. Ломается он их уничтожил. Who cares?
Да.
Give me a second.
Интересно, что она не придала значения до этого.
Mizrahi says, Gabriel Malach knocked them, they fell into the ground and they died. Then he buried them. But Midrash says in different place, he dragged them into under the water and they passed away. And she extended her hand and she took the basket. Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Nechemia, two rabbis disagree. Chadamar yada. One says her hand. Chadamar shivchata. One says no. She sent her maidservant to take the baby. Manda amar yada dichtiva mata. One says that her hand. I understand. Says her hand. Manda amar shivchata. It look tiva yada. Why it says her maidservant? Because it doesn't say the hand. Manda amar shivchata ha. Omrat, Ba Gabriel, Vachavatam Bekarta. Why are we telling him maidservant that Gabriel came and killed all of them? The Shach Lechada. No, Gemara says the Sha'arei Lechada. When Gabriel killed others, he left her one. Why? The law Urche, the Bad Malkal, the Mekam the Chude. It's not the Recher's king's daughter should be princess, should be walking alone. Ulman Damar Yada, and the one says that was her hand. Dichtov Yada, so say hand. The Ishtarbevuve. So the Gemara says we learn from here that her hand got extended. She had extension in her hand. Damar Mar, Master said, Bechen ata motze ba'amata shel bat paro. Same you find by extension by the step of Paro or hand of Paro's daughter. Same thing you find by the teeth of the Rashaim. In 2 minutes we'll finish. The it says Shinei Rashaim Shibarta. Hashem, you broke the teeth of Rashaim. Amar Resh Lakish. Resh Lakish comes and says, Altikle Shibarta ele Shirivavta. But you extended like a rubber. What happened is, and with this I'll conclude, when Moshe Rabbeinu was taking Jewish nation out of Egypt, they were already in the desert. And then a while later came Og, and he said, let me pick up the mountain and bury every Jew over there. So Og picked up a mountain. They wanted to bury all the Jews. Hashem made billions of ants to go under the mountain and make a hole. So they made a hole, and then Og's head went inside. When he wanted to pick up the mountain over his head, what happened is, Hashem extended his teeth from both sides and attached the mountain closer to his nose, and he couldn't breathe. And then Og fell down and passed away that way. So how did Og pass away? By Hashem making his teeth extended. Be'ezrat Hashem, tonight we'll go deeper in the Gemara. See you